Someone that's afraid to let go. You decide if you ever.
What's going on, guys? Today I have for you my 2020 mock lottery draft. So without further ado, let's get started. With the first pick in the draft, I have the Timberwolves selecting Anthony Edwards. I think most people would agree that the T-Wolves should take Edwards over Lamelo and Wiseman. Pairing him up with D'Lo would be a much better fit than someone like Lamelo, who needs the ball in his hands to be successful, and having Wiseman next to Cat probably wouldn't be the best idea. Edwards is a great scoring guard with decent size and athleticism that can play off the ball and averaged almost 20 points at Georgia. I think out of the guys seen as the consensus top 3, he would fit the best next to D'Lo and Cat. He's the best shooter, but is capable of making tough shots from anywhere on the court and excels when he gets into the paint. He doesn't need the ball to score, but definitely plays better with the ball in his hands, so he can help D'Lo run the offense. With the second pick, I have the Warriors taking James Wiseman. I know there's many rumors talking about how the Warriors might look to trade this pick for a star or more pieces, but if they were to select someone, Wiseman would make the most sense. I don't think LaMelo would really play well in the Warriors system, as he would get far fewer shots than he would somewhere else and would really need to up his efficiency to continue getting playing time on this team. The Warriors' biggest hole in their lineup over the past few seasons has been at the center position. Wiseman is an all-around player that shows signs of stretching the floor, being a solid passer and a great rim protector. He would be a lob threat for the Warriors and could either come off the bench as a sixth man or start over Looney. I think the only thing the Warriors really need from him is defense and finishing, so if he is able to switch onto some perimeter players and protect the rim, he would be a very valuable rookie for Golden State. At number 3, I have the Hornets selecting Onyeka Okongwu. Now I know most people would have LaMelo here, but the Hornets already have two guys that need the ball to be successful in Rozier and Devontae Graham, so I'm not sure it would be the best fit. If the Hornets want to go with the best player available, then they would probably take LaMelo, but they definitely need help on the defensive end, and Onyeka might just be the best defensive big man in this draft. He's very athletic, has an NBA-ready body, and is very efficient from the field. I think the Hornets would value a guy that they know can give them elite defense right away as a 19-year-old over a guy like LaMelo, who still has many questions surrounding his game. The Hornets do not have that much young talent on the roster, especially at the 5, so I think Onyeka can come in as a starting center right away and really help round out this Hornets team. With the 4th pick, I have the Bulls taking Lamelo Ball. To be honest, I'm not sure he drops this far, but he would be a great pickup for this team. They have guys that can score the ball like Zach LaVine and other guys that could play great defense such as Chris Dunn, but I think their biggest issue is playmaking. Satoransky is a solid point guard, but I don't really see him as a long-term fit for the Bulls, so I think LaMelo can bring his fast style of play to this young team. LaVine is a score-first guard that hits shots from anywhere on the court, and having a guy like LaMelo that can make any pass he needs to would be really valuable. The Bulls have one of the most promising young cores in the league with LaVine, Kobe White, Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., so I think if they were to add LaMelo into the mix, he can help keep the offense flowing, something they struggled with a lot under the coaching of Jim Boylen. On top of this, he wouldn't have too much pressure to be great right away, as the rest of the roster still needs some time to develop. With the 5th pick in the draft, I have the Cavs taking Deni Avdija. Cleveland has drafted 2 guards in the past drafts, so they definitely want to get some help on the wing, and Deni should be able to be good right away. Right now, Sexton and Garland are decent players, but really lack playmaking. Deni is a point forward who is known for his passing ability and his basketball IQ. He's an international player from Israel that is decent at everything, but lacks a little athleticism. While that may be an issue, I think similar to Luka, although not on the same level as Luka, his passing and ability to make the right play should really help this Cavs team develop. It could take him a few seasons to get used to shooting in the NBA, but I think Cleveland really needs a good facilitator that can start right away. He would most likely play at the 3, meaning Jetty and Kevin Porter Jr. would come off the bench, but I think that would be a positive for this team. Besides Deni, the Cavs might look to draft Obi Toppin if they value a pure scoring big man. However, I think they should value Deni's playmaking abilities over Obi's scoring because they have recently drafted 2 pure scorers in Garland and Sexton. At number 6, I have the Hawks taking Isaac Okoro. He is a 2 or 3 with great size and athleticism. He's known for his defense, as he is able to lock up the other team's best perimeter players and even switch onto bigger forwards with his surprising strength. I think pairing him up next to Trae Young would be vital for this team because of Trae's lack of defense. While they do have solid young players at the 2 and 3, such as Kevin Huerter and DeAndre Hunter, I think adding Okoro into the mix as either a bench guy or starter would really help push this young core to the next level. They definitely do not need another big man, as they already have young guys like John Collins and Capella. So I think Okoro is a great pick here for the Hawks. With the 7th pick, I have the Pistons taking Cole Anthony. He's a score-first guard out of UNC that has decent athleticism and agility. Anthony is definitely a guy that needs the ball in his hands to be good, as one of his best strengths is shooting off the dribble. Obviously, UNC didn't have the best year, but that wasn't his fault. They had a lot of injuries, and Cole Anthony did the best that he could to drag that team to wins. He is a decent playmaker, but is more known for his 3-level scoring. I think the Pistons need a point guard to back up D Rose, because they already have some young guys at the 3 through 5 spots, such as Sekou and Christian Wood. Off the bench, Cole should be able to get many touches and run the offense, which eventually will lead to him becoming the starter in a few seasons if everything goes well. Overall, the Pistons are getting a solid score-first point guard that has potential to be a great shot creator in his prime. With the 8th pick, I have the Knicks taking Killian Hayes. I think it's pretty clear that this team needs a decent starting point guard that can help get the ball to Mitchell Robinson and aid in playmaking duties alongside RJ Barrett. Killian is a 6'5" combo guard from France that has a long wingspan and decent athleticism. He also has a high basketball IQ and has been playing against bigger and stronger players in France for the past 2 seasons. He's capable of scoring off the dribble as well as making high-level passes. While Killian is young, his experience playing against bigger and older players should help him develop quicker, and with this pick, I think the Knicks secure a solid starting point guard that can help run the offense. Hayes isn't the most explosive guard, but he knows how to change speeds and direction when driving. Playing alongside Barrett, either can take the ball up, create shots for themselves, or look to pass to others. I think this would be a great piece for the Knicks to build for the future. With the 9th pick, I have the Wizards selecting Devin Vassell. At 6'7", he has great size for a shooting guard that is capable of hitting shots from the perimeter. He is a solid 3-and-D player, which is so valuable in the league today. Not only is he a good shooter, but he is very explosive as well, often driving to the basket when he sees a lane and can finish through contact. He definitely isn't a guy that needs the ball in his hands to be good, which I think is important for this team because he can either come off the bench or play the 3 alongside Wall and Beal. The biggest problem with this Wizards team is definitely their lack of defense, but Vassell's long wingspan and athleticism should help with that a little bit. His main flaw is that he can't really create for himself in isolation, but fortunately, playing alongside 2 guys that can, in Wall and Beal, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. At the 10th pick, I have the Suns selecting Obi Toppin. Now, I really don't think he drops this far in the actual draft, but based off of fit, the Suns would love to have him on their team. Obi will be 23 by the time the draft rolls around, so he should be able to help out right away as an athletic scoring power forward with great size. He's an elite lob threat, often playing above the rim, and is capable of stretching the floor when he needs to. He's great in the pick and roll and is able to finish through contact among the best guys in Division I basketball. While the Suns do have power forwards such as Dario Saric and Cam Johnson, I'm not so sure they are long-term options, and Obi will be able to contribute his scoring right away. His only real flaw is that he has slow feet, and that might cause issues on the defensive end, but I think if his scoring output is good enough to make up for it, then there should be no reason to pass on him here. With the 11th pick, I have the Spurs taking Patrick Williams. He is one of the youngest guys in this draft, but has tons of potential as a combo forward. The Spurs have plenty of young guards, and their veteran forwards will be coming off their contracts soon, meaning Williams will have plenty of minutes to grow into the all-around forward that he's capable of being. He has good size and athleticism with a long wingspan and is great on the defensive end. He's a very raw prospect with tons of room to grow, but that's why I think the Spurs should take him here, as they are among the best teams in the league at developing the draft picks. In his prime, he should be a lockdown defender that could play in the flow of the offense and get his only when he needs to. Overall, I think the Spurs could really use a forward at this pick and aren't too worried about getting a star right away, as they have other young guys to develop. With the 12th pick in the draft, I have the Kings selecting Aaron Nesmith. He's probably the best shooter from this class and could play the 2 or 3. While the Kings do already have a few guys similar to this mold, they are aging, and Buddy Hield has already expressed his frustrations with the team. So the Kings might look very different in a year from now, depending on if they trade Hield or not, and Nesmith should be able to come in right away as a solid replacement. He shot 52% from 3 on 8 attempts last season, which is by far the most efficient out of anyone in this draft. On top of that, he has a long wingspan and excels at catch and shoot threes. He's an average athlete and plays alright defense, but is still only 20 years old and shows signs of being a solid defender. Any team would love to have a knockdown shooter like Nesmith, especially the Kings, who might need a replacement for Buddy Hield. At pick 13, I have the Pelicans taking Tyrese Haliburton. I think the Pelicans could really use help at the point guard spot when Lonzo's on the bench. I don't think they need another big are wing because they already have guys like Zion, Ingram, Josh Hart, and Drew Holiday. At 6'5" with a long wingspan, Haliburton has great size for a point guard, which helps him make tough passes and shoot over defenders. He has an all-around game and is capable of playing on or off the ball. I think having him as a backup to Lonzo would be beneficial because the ball movement definitely suffers a little when he goes to the bench. His only real weakness is that he is only 180 pounds and isn't the best at creating his own shots, but as a 20-year-old rookie, he has time to bulk up and improve. With the last pick in the lottery, I have the Celtics selecting Precious Achiuwa. Boston definitely does not need another guy that needs the ball in his hands because they already have guys like Kemba, Brown, Tatum, and Hayward, so I think drafting a strong 4 or small ball 5 would be their best bet. After Wiseman was ineligible to play for Memphis, Precious was forced to take on a bigger role and he excelled. He is a high energy, bouncy, athletic 4 that can take on guys bigger than him and is known for his slashing abilities. Because of his strength and athleticism, he is a great rebounder and creates second chance opportunities. Precious also does a good job of moving his feet for a 6'9" guy, and along with his high motor, he should prove to be a solid defender for this team. The Celtics could definitely use some help defending big men in the East, such as Embiid and Sabonis, so I think Precious would be the perfect fit to help Tice with these types of assignments as he develops. So obviously guys will be taken at different spots, and I definitely left out a few players that might sneak into the lottery, but after researching a bunch of the top guys in the draft and looking at what teams need, this is what I came up with. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far into the video, put Archer in the comments to show your support. I'll be having more videos coming out soon. Be sure to like if you enjoy and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.